Hey, how's it going, everyone? I'm Chris, and today I'm going to be working on this Ficus Benjamina. Now, this is the same tree that I did the rescue video on just over a year ago. It was looking very sickly. A lot of the leaves were discolored. There was an insect problem. It was not growing very well. Um, and I did a full repot, did some major root work on it, cut away all the infected areas, cleaned up the insect infestation, and in the year since, you can see it's been growing really well. It's got a whole bunch of new growth. I think these new shoots are brand new from this last growing season. So it's getting a little out of control. So it's time to bring it back and continue its journey on to becoming a nice little bonsai. So let's get into it. All right, I'll start by giving you a 360 view of the tree so you can see how well it's grown since the last update. So as you can see, it's grown quite a lot. Got a bunch of new extensions. The Nabari is developing pretty nicely. There's a little bit of a crossing root here and stuff, but I'm not going to address any of that on this video. I'm really just going to take back some of these long shoots, let it grow again, and then maybe next year I'll probably do another full repot on it to clear up some of the root issues. But yeah, so let's get into it. The goal today, I'm going to try to keep it in a kind of a rounded umbrella canopy, keeping everything a little bit more compact. So first things first, like this long extension here, get rid of this leaf. So you can see a little bit better what's going on. So you can see there's this long extension, and then there's this division, this branch here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it back to here, leaving a little bit of a stump for dieback, and then letting this branch grow, and I'm actually going to trim this back to the first leaf. And this long shoot here I'm going to take back to the first leaf. This one I'm going to take back to this leaf here, so downward facing leaf. So hopefully I'll get some more growth in this direction. I'm going to leave this here for now. There's a long shoot back here. These two shoots are kind of crossing over each other. Now, this trunk line here comes up from the front, and then it kind of goes out and does like a weird direction, which is kind of an interesting trunk line. But this shoot here is kind of getting way outside of what would be a radial direction for this trunk and this branch. So I'm actually going to take this all the way back. I'm going to leave a stump for dieback and take that right off. I'm also going to take out this other one that's crossing as well. Again, leaving a little bit of a stump for dieback. Just going to remove that leaf. And that way it kind of clears up this intersection here. So focusing on this main trunk line here again. I think I'm going to take back this vertical growth. It looks like there's a bud emerging here, so that might be something in a better direction in the future. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it back to just one leaf. Hopefully that bud will grow back and I can take it back more. From what I understand, these Benjaminas, Ficus Benjaminas, they don't like it. If you hard prune them, they tend to just die back rather than the dormant buds growing. So it's always a good idea to keep some leaves on it. Now this other section here, we have split from 1 to 2, split from 1 to 2. I'm actually going to take the vertical part off, and I'm just going to take the tip off of this one, encourage some more subdivisions. And same thing with this one, taking it back just to encourage some more subdivisions there. We also have this branch here, so it kind of immediately branches from 1 to 2, and then again from 1 to 2 here. And then you have this long straight shoot. So I'm actually going to take this back here. There's a more horizontal shoot right here. I'll take it back to there. This one's kind of growing inwards. I don't think I'll need it, but I'll take it back to one leaf for now. Maybe it'll grow something kind of in a better out this direction instead of straight up. Yeah, this one's kind of in an awkward position. It's kind of a I'm thinking. I think I might actually take this whole branch off here. It's kind of an armpit branch. If you look at it from this angle, and see you have the straight trunk, and then you have the main trunk goes off at an angle, and then you have the armpit kind of coming from that. So, so I can either take off this tall section here and leave these two smaller branches, which might be better. And that way we have one single trunk line and then a couple of small branches down here, rather than two main competing trunk lines. I can also take off this, but that's a big, major change to the tree. I think this developed canopy up here, or this canopy up here, is starting to become a little bit more developed, and I kind of like that, so I'd like to keep that if I can. So, hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I think I like this trunk line better. There's more movement, there's more taper. It's more interesting from more different directions. It's kind of interesting from this direction. It's kind of interesting from this direction. If you ignore this. But from this direction, this is crossing. From this direction, it's crossing. Yeah, it just doesn't really look good. So I think I'm going to take this branch out. So this is going to be a big cut. I might have to come in with some stronger clippers, but let me try this out. No, that's okay. So yeah, so this will grow as a nice cutting. So I'll stick this in some soil and try to get that to root. I think I'm going to take it a little bit further back. I do want to leave a little bit of a stump for dieback just in case, so I don't kill this branch that I want to keep. And then we have, some nice taper movement. This is in a nice radial direction. It's kind of a low horizontal branch. What I can do is I can take this tip off here and kind of encourage some more horizontal growth out of there. So I think that was it's a major change to the tree, but I think it was one that is necessary. I think I was going to have to make a decision one way or the other. So it's good to just bite the bullet and do it now. So moving on, this other branch here is kind of in a awkward spot. I think I'm just gonna take this off altogether. You know, radial direction would have been out here, but again, even if it was a nice radial direction, it's kind of in that armpit position. So you see it's got the trunk and then the branch coming out, and then it was kind of coming out of that angle. So yeah, again, it was going to be either remove the top or remove that armpit branch. And like I said before, I like this. There's a lot of movement and taper here. I think this is going to be the better trunk line for sure. And then moving up here, we have this one branch over here. It's kind of in a nice direction. It's going good. I think I'm going to take it back a little bit. Just to encourage some more subdivision, some better growth. I think I'm going to actually take this vertical shoot right off. I don't want to encourage growth that's going to compete with the main branch up here. There's this big, long, tall shoot coming up straight up the middle of the canopy. I think I'm going to take that right out. A little bit of a stump for dieback. And then allow this to take over as the main leader. This branch here, there's a shoot coming straight up here. This branch goes out in a nice direction. Got some nice branching out here, some nice branching out there. This just goes straight up. So I'm going to take that right out. A little bit further back there. And then it's going good. There's some subdivision here. I was hoping for maybe some lower shoots, but it's actually okay because this is pretty high up in the canopy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this shoot back here. This shoot in the back, it's kind of coming in it comes out in a nice radial direction, and I pruned it once here, hoping to get some subdivision. It didn't. It just grew another one shoot. And it kind of grew in the wrong direction. So I'm going to take it back. Hopefully next time, I might have to end up taking this entire branch off, but hopefully I can get something coming out this direction to kind of fill this empty space over here. And you can see there's one branch here, there's one branch here, and then there's a very quick subdivision again right here. So I think I'm gonna have to do something about this. So there's this one branch up here, and there's some subdivision and stuff up here, but it's way outside of I think what's going to end up being the profile of the canopy. At the very most, maybe this stuff up here kind of can be in there, but anything past here really is going to be just kind of out of the picture. There is an open space over here that this branch is filling, which I think is good. So I think I'm going to take this out right here for now. Again, another big cutting that can grow. Nice cutting. So I'll put that in some soil. And this little shoot here, I'm going to take it back. There's a leaf facing this way, facing this direction, and coming out here facing this direction. I want it to kind of grow more in this area rather than over here, so it's not competing with this branch. Hopefully I'll get some more growth out this direction eventually and kind of grow these away from each other, but I think that's good for now. And I think that's basically all I can do on this tree right now. So yeah, so there we go. So as you can see, took quite a bit of foliage off, say like 80% or so of the foliage. But here we go. Yeah, so it'll give you a 360 view. I think the front probably is going to be somewhere around here. I'm kind of moving around to the back. Somewhere around here might also make a pretty good front. Yeah, so there we have it. Alright, so that'll wrap it up for the video today. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share the video with your friends, do all that kind of stuff. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.